I never imagined that a piece of paper, thin, glossy, and folded neatly into my purse, could represent so much hope. That airplane ticket wasn't just a boarding pass. It was freedom. It was rest. It was the first time in years that someone had thought of me. My daughter Emma had surprised me with it 2 months earlier. "Mom," she'd said over the phone, her voice bright in a way I hadn't heard since before marriage and responsibilities dulled her sparkle, "I booked you a trip. Florida, 1 week, beach, sun, nothing to cook, nothing to clean." I laughed at first, assuming she was joking. "Emma, I haven't been on a plane since before your wedding," I said. "Besides, who would watch the dogs?" She hesitated for just a second too long. "Mark said he'd handle it," she replied. That should have been my first warning. The dogs, the house, and the invisible job. For context, I live with my daughter and son-in-law. Not because I want to. Because life cornered me. After my husband passed away 5 years ago, the house felt too big, too quiet, too heavy. Then my arthritis worsened, then the bills stacked up. Emma insisted I move in temporarily. Temporary turned into permanent. I help around the house, cooking, cleaning, grocery lists, laundry, organizing, and of course, taking care of their 2 dogs, Max and Bella. I love those dogs, truly, but loving something doesn't mean it's not work. Morning walks, feeding schedules, vet appointments, cleaning accidents when no one else is home. Mark liked to call it hanging out with the dogs. I called it unpaid labor. Still, I didn't complain. I didn't want to be a burden. So when Emma told me she booked the ticket, my chest felt tight with gratitude. "I haven't had a vacation since 1998, I whispered. "You deserve it," she said firmly, and Mark agreed. Again that word, agreed. The morning everything changed. The morning of my flight, I woke up before sunrise. I dressed carefully, choosing a soft blue blouse and comfortable shoes. I packed light, just a carry-on with a novel I'd been saving for years and sunscreen I probably wouldn't need but brought anyway. Mark was already awake, scrolling on his phone at the kitchen counter. "Morning," I said, smiling nervously. He didn't look up. "Emma left early," he muttered. "Meeting." "Oh, she said she might." I poured myself coffee, hands trembling slightly from excitement. My taxi was scheduled for 7:30. At 7:15, I grabbed my purse and double-checked my ticket. That's when Mark finally looked at me. "Where do you think you're going?" he asked. I laughed softly. "The airport." He raised an eyebrow. "Who's taking care of the dogs?" I paused. "You said you would." Mark snorted. I said maybe. My heart sank. "Mark, my flight." "Look," he interrupted, standing up. "I've got work. I'm not rearranging my life because you want a vacation." Before I could respond, he reached into my open purse. I didn't even have time to react. He grabbed the ticket. "Mark, don't." He tore it. Right in front of me. Once. Twice. Again. Then he dropped the pieces on the floor like trash. "Take care of the dogs," he said flatly. "You live here, that's your job." For a moment the world went silent. No yelling. No dramatic music. Just the sound of my own breathing and the pieces of paper at my feet. I bent down slowly and picked them up. Mark walked past me, grabbing his car keys. "Emma will understand," he added over his shoulder. "She always does." The door slammed. The quiet after humiliation. I stood there for a long time. Then I sat down. Then I cried. Not loud sobbing, those stopped years ago. Just quiet tears slipping down my cheeks as I stared at what was left of my one gift. My phone buzzed. A message from Emma. "Did you get to the airport okay?" I wiped my face. "There's been a problem," I typed. Then I stopped. Something inside me hardened. I thought about every meal I'd cooked while Mark criticized the seasoning. Every dog walk in the rain while he stayed warm inside. Every time he called me lucky to live rent-free. Lucky. I opened the airline app. Emma had booked 3 tickets, hers, Mark's, and mine, for a family trip the following month. Mark's name was right there. Refundable. Cancelable. My finger hovered for a second. Then I clicked. Canceling his flights. The confirmation email came instantly. "Your cancellation is complete." I felt calm. Not joyful, not angry. Just done. I texted Emma again. We need to talk when you get home. The fallout. That evening, Mark stormed into the house. What did you do? He shouted. Emma stood behind him, confused. What's going on? She asked. Your mother canceled my tickets, he yelled. Emma turned to me. Mom. I met her eyes. He tore up my ticket this morning. Silence. He told me to take care of the dogs, I continued quietly, so I did. Emma stared at Mark. You did what? She asked slowly. He shrugged. She lives here, she doesn't need a vacation. Emma's face changed in a way I'd never seen. That trip, she said, voice shaking, was her first gift since Dad died. Mark scoffed. You're overreacting. No, Emma said firmly, you are. The consequence is. Mark slept on the couch that night. The next morning, Emma booked me another ticket. Non-refundable. She drove me to the airport herself. At the gate, she hugged me tightly. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner, she whispered. I smiled. You see it now. As the plane lifted into the sky, I felt something lighter than happiness. Dignity. Epilogue. When I came back, things were different. Mark apologized, awkwardly, begrudgingly, but it didn't matter. I had already started making plans. 2 months later, I moved into a small apartment near the beach. Max and Bella still visit. Mark, he's learning that respect isn't optional. And I'm planning my next trip. Because no one ever gets to tear up my life and tell me it's my job to accept it.